Commissioner Levin?
It is a new year.
Did we have a new appointee too?
We do.
Yes, we did, or we did, just a moment ago.
Well, that's understandable. What? We don't have Commissioner Levin?
It is a new year.
Did we have a new appointee?
Oh.
I will call the January 13th meeting of the planning commission to order. Welcome, everybody, and Happy New Year. I believe we are starting off with the oath of office for the new commissioner. Correct? All right. And Commissioner, can you tell us how you say your last name?
Infante.
Infante with
Yeah,
me.
Nick
Okay.
Infante, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Infant with an E.
All right. Could have gone either way there. Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Nick Infante, do solemnly swear or affirm
I make it want to do small solemnly swear and affirm.
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America
United support the Constitution and laws
and of the state of Oregon
and the state of Oregon.
and the city of Charlotte. That I will, to the best of my ability,
And I will
Commissioner for Salem. Please
faithfully and lawfully
perform the duties
perform the duties
of planning commissioner for Salem
during their
relationships. Okay, gotcha.
All right, so we actually have a roll call. We'll wait till you get seated there. All right, have the roll call, please. And Lisa, do you have someone to introduce? Let's start that.
Yes, we have new admin staff. So as you recall, in December, Jen left us to go roam the world. Megan Smith has joined us. Say hi, Megan.
Hello.
Welcome.
And she's had quite a first week because we have Planning Commission, Hearings Officer, and HLC this week. And we've hired another admin person, but they're out this week. So her second week is 3 meetings. So be kind. And she's doing a great job, and we're very excited to have her.
welcome.
Commissioner. Screen. Commissioner Fott,
Here.
Commissioner Tev. Here. Commissioner Via Brendel,
Here.
Commissioner Slater,
Here.
Commissioner Rhodes. Here. Commissioner Levin. Commissioner Heller,
Here.
Commissioner Frybeck.
Here.
We have quorum.
All right, great. So first up is election of president and vice president. So I just want to say that I have been delighted to serve as the president for the past 2 years. It's been a pleasure, and I appreciate everyone's courtesy and tolerance of my informality as president. It's also time to hand over the gavel to someone else. I talked with Vice President Fott, and she expressed an interest in staying on as vice president for another term. Is that?
Yes,
Am I-
that's correct.
That's accurate. Okay. So my intention was to nominate Vice President Fott. Since I'm limited in who I can talk to, I did reach out to someone else. I reached out to Robert and asked Robert if he would be willing to serve as president. He said that he would. So will be very happy to nominate Robert, but it's not my decision. It's everyone's decision. So we will actually open this up for nominations, which I'll do so with a bang. There, it's open. I'm going to nominate Robert. But again, it is open and it's not my decision. So if someone else is interested in running or you have another candidate, I guess it's a small group, but don't be embarrassed and go ahead. Going once? Going twice? All right. I guess then we go ahead with a vote, or do we? Okay. In that case, again, if we could call the roll for a vote.
Commissioner Fott,
Aye.
Commissioner Frybeck,
Aye.
Commissioner Heller,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes. Aye. Commissioner Slater,
Aye.
Commissioner Tev. Aye. Commissioner Via Brendel.
Just feel like I should abstain on a matter of principle.
Got to vote for yourself, right?
Okay, fine. Aye.
Right.
Commissioner
Imagine Trump did
Infante.
not vote for himself, like he would stay home, right? You know. All right. There we go. Congratulations. I'm going to switch spots for you so you can take the gavel.
Already.
Yeah, here, we can move our name tags over.
Effective immediately.
You know, like yesterday's fish, right? You know, old officers. So
There's ceremony where you hand off.
I think I just did.
Okay, well, I think it's my first order of business. I'm going to ask if somebody has an agenda I can look at because I do not have a printed copy with me.
I've been sharing Lisa's.
Vice President.
Okay. Yes, I guess similarly, I know it's not my decision, but I would nominate Vice President Fott to remain as Vice President and open it up to discussion.
I will second it.
I'll just say she's been doing a great job.
Very heated campaign.
Okay.
Okay.
Money spent on this one.
Yes, I suppose without any further discussion, I will move on to voting.
Commissioner Fott,
Aye.
Commissioner Frybeck,
Aye.
Commissioner Heller,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes. Aye. Commissioner Slater,
Aye.
Commissioner Tev,
I
Commissioner Via Brendel,
Aye.
Commissioner Infante.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mostly just doing that for fun at this point. Okay. Motion passes. Okay, that's my role? Wow. Oof.
You have the count.
Okay.
Yes. It can be tricky.
Yeah, that. Okay. So now I think we're moving on to agenda item number 3, public comment for anything other than public hearings, deliberations. Having, I think, almost doubled the number of public attendees we have in person this time. Are any of the people that are here, here to speak for the public comment portion of the meeting? Okay, nobody has signed up. Okay. And I guess we will move on to agenda item number 4, the consent calendar. Approval of minutes, adoption of routine items. It looks like what we have is an approval of minutes from the December 2nd meeting. Noting that Commissioner Levin is not here, can we get Vice President Fott to fill in?
I was absent, so I will be abstaining.
Hey, do we have a volunteer?
I move to approve the minutes of the December 2nd Salem Planning Commission.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, move on to discussion. Seeing no discussion, I would move on to voting and I will have my counting fingers ready.
Commissioner Fott,
Abstain.
Commissioner Frybeck,
Aye.
Commissioner Heller,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes. Aye. Commissioner Slater,
Aye.
Commissioner Tev,
I
Commissioner Vieira Brendel,
Aye.
Commissioner Infante.
Aye.
I believe that the motion passes. I suppose, should I ask, if Commissioner Infante, did you have an opportunity to review the recordings of the previous?
Was this on the Mill Creek? No, this is the advisory committee.
They were
Oh,
kind of,
Yeah, so Commissioner Infante, I didn't prep you for this, but generally if you weren't at the meeting, you would just abstain from voting on the minutes unless you went back and watched the meeting So if you weren't at the December 2nd meeting, did you watch it? Nope. You want us to change your vote to an abstention then for that adoption of the minutes? Okay. Is that okay with the
Okay,
chair?
that's okay with the chair, and the motion still passes. There are no resolutions and no action items. Moving on to item number 5, public hearings. There are also none of those. So I suppose we will move on to special order of business, agenda item number 6, and discussion of planning commission membership requirements.
I'll just speak to this one real quick. As the staff report says that the council's looking at different requirements for boards and commissions and the makeup of boards and commissions generally. For example, last night they voted to limit people to only being on 2 boards and commissions because there's not been a limit before. One of the things that we were asked is to ask all of our commissioners, commissions about the membership requirements and if you would have any recommendations to change those membership requirements. Planning commission's pretty open as far as the requirements. You have to live inside city limits, or one of you can just live inside the UGB. No more than 2 of you can be engaged principally in buying, selling, or developing real estate for profit. And then no more than 2 of you can be in the same kind of business, trade, or profession. And that's it. So just open discussion. And Thomas Capani is on as well, our assistant city attorney. So he might chime in if he has more to add to this, then feel free, Tom, but otherwise.
I would just add that one of the goals of this endeavor is to try to find ways to make
Oh, is Tom? Oh, you
Uh,
mute.
am I talking?
Hold on, Tom, we can't hear you.
Okay. Thankfully, I wasn't muted.
Back all over again, right? Sorry, the Marion County staff came in and set it all up for us.
Again, I don't.
Even tested. We did test and it worked.
Again, I don't.
Oh, Lordy. I- Can you admit me into the-
Call in for audio.
Can you try now, Tom? Can you try again?
How's this? Can you hear me? I'm talking.
Hold on, not working still.
Uh,
Sure, Tom has something really great to say too, so I feel really bad it's not working. Mhm. We don't know.
Try. Can you try again, Tom?
how about now?
It says it's picking up his feed. It's just not projecting it.
Megan.
Sorry. I'm trying different things over here. Not that one. Not that button. Not that one.
Attempting to constantly establish that in this meeting.
Tom, you want to keep trying for me?
Sure.
I know, I'm gonna keep, clicking some things.
I'll just keep blathering on and on.
Oh, Tom, I need to call in. Yeah.
No,
Okay, now we can see them on board screen.
Wow.
I don't understand. Don't understand it. He's gonna call me. I'm just gonna. I needed a better view.
Any luck?
Feels informed. Yeah.
These are good.
Ooh, it's driving.
Good, sweet.
Okay.
Okay, we have Tom on speakerphone.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'm
Are you
gonna
ready?
talk, but I'm gonna mute the Zoom meeting because I'm getting feedback.
Sounds good.
So the purpose of this endeavor is to try to identify ways to make
Not on Zoom.
commission membership more inclusive. There are some limitations for planning commission. Have occurred that are in place. So may not be a lot to be done.
What about the employment limitations you're talking about?
Say again,
Could you explain more what you mean by employment limitations?
you only allow 2 people from real estate or 2 people from the same industry to be members.
Okay, I think that was good. Everyone's nodding.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
I guess I could offer up a. Oh, is there a question? Sorry.
You have a question.
I withdraw my question. That's-
So 2 council meetings ago, they voted to require background checks of boards and commission appointees. I'm just, I guess, clarifying that you will let us know when you hear if that's retroactive or not.
Yeah, absolutely. That happened, I think, at their special meeting like a week and a half ago. And so they haven't shared any information with staff liaisons about how that would roll out. So I'll keep you posted. Yeah. Not previously been a requirement to be on planning commission.
I guess my thought is that to the extent that we have a diversity problem, it tends to be kind of on the race ethnicity side and potentially the income side and not the employment diversity side. And I understand, the point on the employment restrictions. And I think they make sense to me, so I don't see any need to change those. I think the issue of race diversity is one that is a really big challenge that's kind of outside our ability to deal with it because it has to do with volunteer time and childcare and income and when people meet and how they meet. And I don't have any very good solutions, and I haven't heard of any very good solutions from other places as well. So I don't have any ideas on how to tackle that one, frankly, except to acknowledge that it's a real problem.
I think my only thought is, I think it's fantastic that we generally have had good diversity across the commission from professions. And I wouldn't want to specifically. I think my only thought is. I wouldn't want to mandate a single profession type, but I do think it's important. I am an architect on the commission, and I think that that is an important type of role to have filled. So once I'm not on the commission, it would be, I think would hope that there will be another architect or similar design professional who can step into that role. And, also having, someone representing the construction industry and the development and real estate and urban planning and soils and transportation. We are very fortunate right now to have that, I think, largely covered. So I don't know if there's anything to specifically document as an expectation, but I do hope that we can continue with this level of industry background. It's been really beneficial, I think. Actually, a question on that. The HLC requires they require to have an architect on the board, right?
Yeah, the Historic Landmarks Commission requires 7 of the 9 commissioners to meet the federal standards for preservation professional. So that can be, a historic preservation, you have a degree, it could be historian, it could be an architect, it could be archaeologist, there's like a whole list of things that come from the federal law. And then the other 2 positions can be at large. So they're going to have the same discussion 2 nights, 2 nights from now. I think some commissions have real specific requirements, and then the councils had a really hard time getting any candidates to fit that kind of niche, that they're asking for. I don't, when we've had not a full commission, it's generally because we're waiting for the council to sort through the applications and appoint someone. It's not that there's no applications. Same on HLC. They generally, Kimberly she recruits people pretty heavily. And because we're the state capital, there's lots of actual folks that work for the state that have, that background or architects or something like that. So we haven't had a problem on that commission either, but I know some commissions have had, years and years of certain positions just vacant that they can't fill them. So that's part of the reason to have this conversation.
I know the Parks and Recreation Committee is supposed to have an arborist fill that, and they have a tough time to fill that position. They just haven't been able to do it.
I just think compared to other boards and commissions of the city, our membership requirements to me seem pretty lax. I think to me they're appropriate, and I think I don't really see much of a discussion to be had. I know this is like broadly applied to all the other boards and commissions. I think there are issues with just city finding a diverse pool of applicants and making sure everybody is kind of represented on the city's boards and commissions, but I don't necessarily think that could be addressed by changing our membership requirements. I think that has more to do with outreach, meeting time, location, how, I guess we'll talk about this, but how the appointment processes are and other things, so. Do we need a motion to not change anything?
If you don't have an official recommendation to change anything, you don't need a motion.
I think I have a question for staff. So it sounds like people are not very interested in creating a bunch of strict requirements. We don't have a bunch of requirements. Is it an option for us to make recommendations for preferences? I know that we don't pick the people that go into planning commission, and that's a city council role, but would it be possible for us to create a document saying we would prefer to have these qualifications or this sort of split of people? Maybe preference would be 1 person from every ward, understanding that's probably not going to happen. We don't want to hinder ourselves by making that a requirement, but we would like to have a preference in the application screening process to have geographic diversity, to have industry diversity, to have these things. is there a mechanism to do that or is that not real?
I think through this process, if you want to recommend to the council that they put in, that they consider this list that you give them, the code does say in making appointments, the council shall encourage but not require geographic distribution of members throughout the city. But other than that, there's no encourage but not require language in there. So if that's what the commission wants, I don't, anything you want to recommend to the council regarding this discussion, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be my preference then is to sort of codify some sort of preference so that we can maintain, I think, the strength that we have, as Commissioner Fada said, with the different fields that we have and try to improve the diversity for the purpose of representing the city more fully. Obviously, there's some geographic diversity already built into the requirements, although I would suspect that we probably don't have a uniform distribution of representation here for the entire city. I just know that when we were downtown, I seemed to be the only car that would be hitting north. So, yeah, two of us. And so I would love to see more diversity from different wards or different parts of the city, because I think that will inherently create different viewpoints and we can have better discussions that represent the entire city. But I also do not want to create a hindrance on us getting qualified applicants by creating requirements that can't be met. So I guess I would like to propose that we create a recommendation list for applicants. And I don't know what that would look like or what everyone's preferences would be, but that would be what I would ask for.
I mean, I would completely agree with that and probably list on there, having professionals who are engaged in the development process and its varying stages naturally means that you're coming to the table with some experience and education and training in those, which really informs the discussion process. So I think that we should have at least list some of those professions as to be considered so that we can try and make sure that we continue the breadth that we have currently.
Mr. Slater?
Yeah, I guess my only comment is that when we think about what those professions are, we should think very broadly. So we're not limited to just individuals that are involved in the current construction process. So for example, we have someone in soil science, right? That's not someone who's involved in development, but that's someone who brings a knowledge that is related to how we manage our natural resources. I think that's an important part. So I wouldn't want us to create a list that just means basically you have to be employed in the you're either an architect, an engineer, or you're doing actual development work. There's more to it than that. So I would just encourage us to think about that. And in terms of process, I know that we can't have a subcommittee. So what would the process be to create something that we could all look at that doesn't involve us sitting down as a group and brainstorming in a public session?
Yeah, we could continue this discussion to the next meeting, and in the interim, anybody could send me their ideas that they would want on the list, and then I can just compile the list and we can have it for the meeting. And then you could discuss everything that's on the list, and obviously you could by motion add things to the list during that meeting, but that's one way we could do it.
I like that. I like that plan. Would it require us to make a motion to continue this, or can
I
we
could
just?
just put it on the agenda.
Okay.
If that sounds good to everybody. Okay, so if you just have ideas, you can.
Oh, wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just had, I wanted to say, I agree with you. I don't want to butcher your name, Commissioner
Vieira Brando.
Vieira
It'll take a
Brando.
minute. Don't
Okay,
worry about
yeah. I agree with you on that idea with having representation from each ward, because again, professionals from that live in different wards know about those areas and can bring subject matter, information to the panel and, knowledge of what's going on in their ward. And I think that's a good idea also.
Great. Okay.
Just a question on that. Is there a way to find out what wards we're missing right currently?
I can send an email and list all the wards that we have members in after the meeting, or tomorrow. I can send that out. Yeah. So if we want to get it published in the packet, our next meeting is on the 27th, and we publish the agenda the week before. on the 20th. And that's when we add things like to the website. So it doesn't give you that much time, but I don't know, by Monday's a holiday. So end of day Friday, if you could email me, or do you guys need the weekend? So then it'd be like 8 a.m. Tuesday morning would be allowable. We need in the weekend, we need the
Okay.
3-day weekend to come. Okay.
Before the weekend.
How about 8 a.m. on Tuesday, the 20th? Let's say 9 a.m. I don't check my email at 8. 9 a.m. Tuesday, the 20th. If you've emailed me by then, your ideas. And then I'll just put them all together and put them on the website.
Okay, thank you.
You.
This feels like a very related special order of business, 6.2. Lisa, do you want to start this discussion?
Sure. So I just put together a staff report. You might remember at a previous meeting, Commissioner Fryback requested that we have an item to discuss the interview process. And so I just put some facts. Some of you were interviewed before you were appointed. Some of you were not. It's not codified, so the council did it, and then they kind of stopped and started and stopped. So maybe want to turn over to Commissioner Fryback, who asked for this item.
Yeah, of course. So I guess I guess the initial motion to appoint me to planning commission, I think that was in like April or May. And then one of the city councilors mentioned that she would like to have us interviewed in order to improve kind of the transparency of the appointment process and making sure all kinds of decisions of local government or people can learn more about the applicants and stuff and watch their interviews if they so choose. And I was under the impression that that process would carry forward because prior to the pandemic, every planning commission appointee was interviewed prior to appointment. And then so after myself, Commissioner Tev and Commissioner, oh gosh, I'm totally blanking on his name. Laura Midkiff were all interviewed. I had then assumed that would be the case going forward. The previous two appointees haven't been interviewed. That's not to say that their qualifications are subpar. I certainly believe that they are good, but I feel like that every appointee to planning commission should be held to the same standard as all the others. The decision whether or not to interview just shouldn't be decided, on a whim. I know it might seem odd if, a board of commission just hasn't historically had interviews and then just out of the blue, we decided to interview somebody for the position when they hadn't. I feel like to me, feels the same to not interview somebody just based on decision. So I feel like just based on the historical context of city council interviewing appointees, I think it would be very helpful to codify that into the SRC and just make sure we're all being consistent. So I had a motion prepared tonight to read, and then I think we can probably have a discussion about the specificities afterwards. So I just would like to say that I move that a letter be written to the city council stating that the planning commission requests that commissioners being appointed to a non-consecutive term be interviewed by council, and that the public be notified of a vacancy on the commission at least 2 weeks prior to an individual being selected for interview to fill that vacancy.
Second.
Any discussion?
Then I just wanted to add the second part of that motion about vacancies being publicly notified. I looked on the city's vacancies website after a vacancy was made available and prior to the city council motioning to appoint somebody to the position, the vacancy was not posted on the boards and commissions website, which could be a reason. I know planning commission doesn't seem to have an issue with people not applying, but I feel like it's important if we have a page where the city posts vacancies for boards and commissions, that there be some kind of requirement for that vacancy to be posted. I know the state has a requirement that jobs be posted for, I think, a week prior to an offer being provided. I don't know if we need to have a longer posting requirement or shorter, but I think 2 weeks is a good starting point.
Well, I would say that I support the motion. I was also interviewed as part of my appointment to Planning Commission, and as you said, I think it's a great opportunity to, excuse me, to just learn a little bit about each commissioner as, you know, before they're joining the commission. And yeah, I completely agree. It's in the interest of transparency. You really can't have too much, you know, information about, you know, why someone wants to join and what their expectations are and what they hope to accomplish and contribute to the Planning Commission.
And it does seem important to me to have it be uniformly applied to everyone.
Yeah.
I think it adds confidence in the process if everyone has the same process. There's only one.
I also think it helps with what we're talking about with the different wards and making sure everything is equal. Having it could feel targeted for people if some people were interviewed and some aren't. I was not interviewed. I was in that COVID kind of coming out of that bubble, but I think moving forward, consistency is key for all.
So do we want to just vote on or what are people thinking in terms of just voting on the motion to write the letter kind of as is, and then coming up with the just continuing to develop the discussion on the membership requirements separately, or is there an interest in amending the motion to include the membership requirements? I don't want to bog down the motion with this other discussion that I think might take a minute. So I guess my thought is to keep them separate, but I don't know if other people are interested in kind of consolidating that discussion.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we should keep them separate. My thought, I haven't been on planning commission to where we've actually sent a letter to council before. I don't know how that process works, so Lisa, you might have to help me out. But I was thinking I could draft something up between now and Tuesday at 9 a.m. and and get it over to you so it can be on the agenda, and then everybody can then review that at the next meeting. And then if we all agree that that's the proper verbiage and stuff for whichever letter, I was just thinking a short bulleted list. But then we could just vote on that at that point and then send this off. So to me, this is like telling council to start the code updates process, and then us now or next meeting will approve the actual verbiage.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Any more discussion on the motion?
Do we need to withdraw the motion then if we're not going to vote on it?
Are you saying you don't want them to vote on the motion tonight, Commissioner Farback?
No, I'm saying that I think items 6.1 and 6.2 should remain two separate items.
Yes, that's what I was saying yes to. So you could vote on this motion tonight, and then at the next meeting, if we have a formal recommendation, we can combine those together like in one missive to the council, you know, that there was two different discussions for them to consider, or we can do two separate, you know, send them separately to council. But I think if we're gonna send a letter, we could put them in both in one letter if they both have some sort of outcome.
Thank you. I think the only concern that I have is it's easier for me to understand a resolution when it's written down rather than when it's orally presented. I don't know if we can, if we have the ability to type something on screen, or if there's another way to display this, or at least maybe if Commissioner Frybrack would read it back again very slowly.
Yeah, I have it in my notes app actually. So
His motion.
yes.
Yeah, his motion.
And then his motion is that a letter be written, so then that would come back to the commission to look at before it gets sent to council.
Oh, okay, so we're not really voting on language, we're voting on intent.
Yes.
Okay, I love the intent, I'm there. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Would you like me to read it again?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, I would ask that we vote on the motion.
Commissioner Fott,
Aye.
Commissioner Frybeck,
Aye.
Commissioner Heller,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes. Aye. Commissioner Slater,
Aye.
Commissioner Tev,
Aye.
Commissioner BR Brendel,
Aye.
Commissioner Infante.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, gosh, Lisa, looks like a hat trick for you. Appointment to Mill Creek Waller Dam Advisory Committee.
Open, yes. I don't know a ton more than what's in the staff report, but yes, North Santiam Watershed Council has requested a planning commissioner. Have not, nobody's reached out since the staff report went out, so I don't know if there's a, natural volunteer for this. Last night, the council did vote to authorize you to pick your own person to be appointed, own commissioner, and then they appointed Counselor Nishioka with Counselor Tigan as the backup. And it's gonna, as the staff report says, there'll be, technical experts, community leaders, local voices, et cetera, on the committee. And it's to review the Waller Dam and that's what it is. So, and I think we do have someone here that could speak to it from with Jen, right? Yes, Watershed Council. So would you like that to hear more about it before we throw names in the
I think
hat?
that would be great.
Great. So you want to come up here? Brandon, is that right? Yeah, so we want to go to. Push it and then speak really closely to it.
Okay, so Brandon Hilbrand, Executive Director of the North Santiam Watershed Council. As a partnership with 4 other watershed councils in the Mid-Willamette Valley, we received funding from NOAA Restoration Center for about $8 million to look at fish passage improvements in the Mid-Willamette region. So looking at 42 stream miles across the Mid-Willamette Valley, which is really exciting. Our specific projects are looking at Waller Dam and alternatives analysis, preferred alternatives selection, and then permitting for the project. As we know, Waller Dam is very complicated. There's a lot going on there, a lot of stakeholders, a lot of partners, a lot of community members who have reached out to us about improvements there. So we applied for this grant in 23, were awarded last year. Kicking off an advisory committee to bring everybody together to hear different perspectives about the structure. No implementation will occur under this funding, so that will be a future opportunity. But as an asset for the city, we find it valuable to seek different representation for the city to help bring perspective and guidance to those alternatives. So.
Commissioner Slater?
I was just gonna say, I've had a little bit of exposure to this dam issue. And I would be happy to serve on this unless someone else really wanted to do it.
I was actually wondering, so Waller Dam is the one that's next to State Street, correct? Kind of like near 20th?
Yeah.
Okay, and then, so like, I know that area flooded like 3 weeks ago. So like, say if this dam ends up being removed, would that reduce flooding impacts because the level of water would be then lower?
So that's the point of this work, is to and so we're taking all of that information, bringing community engagement. What's the best?
happens to it, people will be considered.
Cool, thanks for the info.
Do we need to nominate someone for it? Is that how it's working? Or is Commissioner Slater's volunteer motion?
I mean,
So we would vote on who to appoint. I guess if there's other folks that are interested, then, you know, you can say you're interested and then stump speech. I'm not sure you can say why you would want to be on it.
it's already been quite an election night, so, but I would move to nominate Commissioner Slater.
Second.
Any discussion? Any other nominations? Hearing none, I would move to voting.
Commissioner Fott,
Aye.
Commissioner Frybeck,
Aye.
Commissioner Heller,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes. Aye. Commissioner Slater,
Aye.
Commissioner Tev,
Aye.
Commissioner Villar Brundell,
Aye.
Commissioner Infante.
Aye.
Motion passes. Nomination secured.
This has all the suspense of the Chinese Communist Party election, doesn't it?
Thank you.
Okay, on to item 7. I don't believe there's an information report, at least listed on the agenda. Item 8, subcommittee reports. I do not believe there are any of those, although I do believe there will be a wetland subcommittee meeting after this meeting. So,
I do actually have a tiny report to share.
oh, tiny report to share. Okay.
So I was invited to meet with Kristen Rutherford and Dan Atchison, who is the city attorney and also, I guess, now the interim director of enterprise services. So they are part of the.
He's now deputy city attorney,
Is that-
deputy city manager and the city attorney, officially both.
Okay,
Deputy city manager and city attorney.
okay, and no longer interim enterprise manager.
Yeah,
Or did he
that's
have-
part of what the deputy city manager does. So enterprise services, which if you don't know is IT and HR and fleet and.
Okay, great.
many other-
So this was, I had sent a letter asking if the new city manager would meet with the wetlands subcommittee members. And they said, not surprisingly, that the new city manager was very busy and that there are other considerations, but they offered Kristen and Dan. So I took it. And we had, I think, a good hour-long conversation about what the subcommittee was working on and what we hope to accomplish. And, you know, there's always 3 things that the city will say. They will say that there's never any money for new initiatives. There's never any staff for new initiatives. And the council sets policy. So we worked through those conversations. And after that, I think we wound up having a fairly productive conversation about what the subcommittee, at least based on its preliminary report, was recommending and what we were hoping to accomplish. And I got the sense that, you know, Dan and Kristen were willing to sit down with other senior management and the city manager to kind of discuss how they might think about these and how they might respond back to us. So they said, you know, nothing quickly, but there will be a senior strategy meeting coming up, and they will bring it up there to see if there's an appetite among other members. They pointed out one of the things that was in our recommendation, which was that Kristen noted that the topics that I was bringing up cross 5 different boundaries within the city. And so 5 different departments, and that's kind of one of the challenges I think that we all discussed when we were looking at this.
Sounds like Dan might run all those departments though, so that could simplify this.
Well, that explains why it was there. So I felt, you know, I would have preferred if we could have met as a group. I think that would have been more productive than just me. But on the other hand, I think it was a good opening conversation. And hopefully we'll get a good response. And I just think this is kind of at the front end of what may be kind of a longer process. So that's my report.
Okay, any questions on the report? Okay. Nothing listed for planning administrator's report? Still true?
No, I always have stuff. I don't list it. The top of my head. No, just our next meeting's on the 27th. We do have 2 items. Well, now we're gonna have 3 because we've continued our membership discussion. We're gonna have some public works project engineers, project managers and engineers to come here to talk about the State Street Improvement Project, which is funded in the bond. We just recently had an open house for the public that went well, and they'll talk about the history of it, but came out of the Nen Cessna neighborhood plan, and then we did a corridor project to redesign the streets, and then they got funded, and in the meantime, Eunice has had 2 children, and they've, got started, almost finished elementary school, but we've been working on this project for over a decade, so construction's still about 2 years out, but we're very excited. So it will be adding bike lanes and pedestrian amenities. So they will present on that. And then we are going to have the transportation subcommittee members. Yes, is there only 2 now? Commissioner Fryback, Commissioner Tev, to present on the work that they did as a committee and what they produced and whatnot, so that we can have that out in the public as well. So that's going to be on there. And besides hiring 2 admin staff, we do have 2 new planners. We won't bring them for a while, but we're excited to have a full staff all of a sudden. So yeah, 4 new people. So that's all we have. That's all we have. That's all I have. Olivia says I'm good, so I'll stop there. Yeah. Yes. Oh, was that for me? That hand?
Go ahead, Commissioner Fott.
I just had a question. I was wondering if there was any updates on either of the block projects that the city facilitated.
Not that have been shared with me. Well, no applications have been submitted for any.
I have a question for both staff and President Vera Brandel. I'm wondering if at some point, when it's convenient for her, we could have our climate action manager come and give a report. I know that she is wrapping up the 2025 report that we'll give out, and I thought it might be useful if if she'd be willing to come and present that to us one night, if the president is amenable.
I am amenable to that. I think that would be great.
Yeah, I'm happy to ask for that. And Commissioner Fryback asked if the fire chief would come to a future meeting to talk about single stair development and the city's kind of position that we're uninterested in that because it's because of the fire safety issues. So that we're trying to schedule, reach out for that. So when we get dates, we'll let you know.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on the planning administrator's report? No? Okay. Commissioner comments for the good of the order? Anyone?
Just if anyone is watching, we do have a wetland subcommittee after this, but if it's pleases the subcommittee, I thought we could maybe make like a 10-minute break while we kind of shift things around and try to fix Tom's mic, and then we'll start a new. So if anybody's watching, they want to watch that, it will be a different YouTube stream. So this one will quit and a new one will start on the same channel when the wetland subcommittee convenes tonight. Thank you.
That makes sense. Public comment? Okay. I guess that leads us to item 12, adjournment. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.